Good morning to one and all present here. On behalf of RVS Educational Institution, I take immense pleasure in welcoming all of you for the webinar on lifelong learning, the importance of non-formal education. In this webinar, I'd like to welcome our resource person and guest, Aleksandra Gligorovic, consultant, trainer, researcher of biological sciences, Montenegro. We welcome you, ma'am. I also welcome our managing trustee, sir, correspondent, ma'am, secretary, ma'am, principal, vice principals, members of staff, and students from all our educational institutions. To say about Aleksandra Gligorovic, she has been an active in civil society since 1998. Her fields of expertise are gender equality, public policy, development, monitoring, and evaluation. She also has skills in intercultural learning, social inclusions, and social services. Since February 2011, she is working as an independent consultant and trainer where services are so far being provided to a large number of national and international organizations and institutions, mainly in the European concern, in UNICEF, etc., and also to the ministries of Montenegro in the Ministry for Human and Minority Rights, and also in the Ministry of Sport and Youth, and also at other local self-government organization. She has an experience in leading process of development and monitoring of policy developments, especially in the strategy of gender equality, youth strategy, etc. Friends, to say about her, she is actively involved in many social and networks and expert schools. So out of the box, the International Work Trainer Guild, etc. She also holds a Master of Degree in Science from the Faculty of Natural Science and Mathematics in the Department of Biology, and is happy to say that she belongs to a group of people having double career and enjoying both of them. Such a great expertise is there with us. We welcome you, ma'am, on behalf of RVS Educational Institution, and we love to listen to your session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much for first of all, for inviting me. I was really honored. And thank you for this lovely introduction. And now I really feel a bit nervous. You presented me as a quite, how to say, busy and educated person. But what I would like to say is that at the beginning, I would like to apologize maybe for my accent, because as you know, English is not my mother tongue, and I learned it in the school and on the way. So and also there is a little accent that comes from where I live. So if I become not possible to understand, please interrupt me. And on the other side, I would like to thank to all the members of your team, and also to all the students that are here with us and that are interested in this topic. What to say about learning in general? We have a teenager. I have a son that is 14 now, and it doesn't bring him so much joy, I have to say, because there are some things that we like to learn. And it's a natural, and there are some things that we have to learn. And I think it is very important that we understand that sometimes even the things that we don't like so much, they are necessary. And but why I'm mentioning this is because the system of education it consists in several segments, and one of them is a formal education. And usually we all have to go through this process. We have to go to elementary school, high school. It depends in some of the countries, even high school is not obligatory. But here where I live, it's kind of expected you to do it. And when you go through formal education system, it looks rather different from place to place. Normally in our country, where I live, the formal education system is quite, how to say, not tough, but it's not flexible so much. The methods of learning are they are interactive, but still it's not maybe on the level how we would like it to be. Still, it's mainly some lectures. You have to learn the things. You have to later tell to everyone what you learned, and it's some kind of sometimes even challenging grading system. And if you don't know everything, it really can put you in a position to be kind of not excluded from the group, but you are not a good student, and the teachers, even the families, they have a reaction like you are not a good child, or later you are not a good young person or even adult. So we are sometimes really judging the persons according to their educational accomplishment. And I don't want to say that we should neglect education, but also there are many other qualities that people can have, and especially young people, that we don't cherish so much. And we also don't cherish them in ourselves sometimes. And it's just the system, how it functions. It's a huge, a huge structure, and there are programs, there are curriculums, and they cannot be really tailor-made for everyone, because we are all different and we have different learning styles and different interests. And this is why it's very important to also go to the other side a little bit, and to try to explore some other opportunities for learning. I know that for your students now, it sounds like I'm pushing them to learn more and to spend all the time on this. But when I'm talking about lifelong learning, I don't only think about buying some books or going to some courses. Lifelong learning is really something that is happening on the way. And I have to say, it's also something that is happening wanted or not. I mean, if you want it or you don't want, you learn every day. And you learn from your friends, you learn from your family. Maybe you can remember when you learned to ride a bicycle or to do some other things. You learn also from movies, from books, of course, from your neighbors, from everyone. And this process goes, I see this as a puzzle, because all of those things are coming to you, and you try to organize them, you try to put them in some order, and you try to extract something for yourself out of it. So lifelong learning as a concept is something that is going beyond this formal system, but it also includes it. And it goes more into those non-formal and even sometimes informal activities. So it really depends. It can happen just randomly, and you can learn some things just by being present in some places. But on the other side, also lifelong learning can be planned, and this is, I think, the good part of it, because you can choose some topics that maybe they were not part of your official curriculum. And if you listened about me, I finished biology, and of course I do research of Coleoptera insects, and I love it, but also I love many other things. So this is why also you heard about topics such as intercultural learning or gender equality or other topics. So I can say from my personal experience that it was always strange when I have to present myself, because I have different identities like all of you, and some of those identities are very strongly connected to my formal education. But some of my identities are very much connected to the non-formal education I got over the years. I know that your students are much younger than me, but I hope they understand that time goes very fast, and I think it's very important to really use every opportunity. And if there are chances for some workshops or different meetings or online events like this or similar things, I would recommend everyone to find the time to join. From some of the activities, you can learn a lot. You can hear some very inspirational people. But also it will happen that you come and you see it's really boring, and also that you cannot take much for yourself from that you are listening. You cannot connect, or you are not concentrated, or when you go there you realize this is not what I wanted, and this is not what I'm interested in. And you should, in those situations, you should not be judging yourself. You should not think of this as a failure, but really as a learning path. So you go, you see, if it's the place for you. If it's not, you say thank you, I tried, I don't find myself in this, and then you can try something else. And I know it sounds risky as well, that you can maybe, for your family, you can look like you don't have a focus and that you are moving here and there. But I think that this is also the beauty of our life and development. Sometimes also maybe lose focus and find it again and try to enrich ourselves, because I think that what is the most important and the hardest thing of all, it's really to live a happy life. And especially, I can say nowadays, but I think it was always, and it will be probably forever, that there are many things happening around, and we don't know sometimes what are priorities, and we are struggling with every day how to organize our lives and everything. And here in a non-formal sphere, you can find a place maybe for some hobby and some learning environment that you like, and the learning environment and maybe among some group of people that of a similar interest that is safe for you, and that will help you to really enjoy the days, or if they are heavy, to go through them, because it's also, I think, very important to know how to go through those very, very maybe heavy days. And maybe I start speaking too fast. I apologize for this. It's a bit how I speak usually. And also I get very much excited about this topic, so maybe it's better sometimes. Maybe some of you can stop me or ask a question, so this can be more interactive. When we are talking about lifelong learning, as I said, it is a process, and it can be, how to say, there are different characteristics. And the first thing is that it's a voluntary. This means that you don't have to do it. It's your choice. And you know that if you choose something, usually it is because you like it. And when we choose something, we invest much more time and energy in that, and there is a bigger chance that we will succeed. So to be simple, if I don't want to get involved in some non-formal learning opportunities, you cannot push me. You can try, but I can also go there. Like maybe today, someone maybe told you have to be there and to listen. But even in those kind of situations, people then tend not to be attentive, and also they don't really involve. They don't get involved, and also they don't take out anything from the process. So I personally think that with very young people, sometimes it's good also to challenge them, and even to maybe put them in the position to be in the non-formal education process. Maybe that they were not maybe thinking about this in the first moment, but this situation could inspire them and to come again. For example, I was leading National Voluntary Service in one great civil society organization here. And I used to work with young people and with volunteers a lot. And we had a situation when even parents come with a son. For example, I remember one father that did this, and he was really pushy. He said, "I want my son to do some voluntary work." And this young man, he was really not into this. He was not happy. And he said, "Okay, whatever, it's, when your parents are pushing you to do something." And I was looking at two of them and I was thinking, this is really disaster. You're pushing your child to do something that he doesn't want. But then we took this catalog of all the voluntary programs that we had at that moment in the Europe. And this young man, he chose one, and he spent there for 10 days. He was there for 10 days. And after he came back, he was so happy. He was really cheerful. He really wanted to go to another volunteering opportunity. He was telling us about how many great friends he met, what they learned, what they were doing every day. And it was really, for me, it was a surprise, because I thought that it will be really disaster, that this young man will be really unhappy there. But it was great. And why I'm telling this is that sometimes, although we expect that this lifelong learning and that non-formal learning are some things that we do just because we want, sometimes even it happens that someone pushes in this space. And then we have to take the best out of it. But no matter how you enter into some sphere of non-formal learning, you can always try to see what you will get out of it. When I say non-formal learning, what I mean, those typical things that are organized in the framework of the non-formal learning usually are some workshops or some seminars. It means that people gather, usually peers, and they discuss their own experience. They share what they know from some in relation to some topics. But also sometimes there are different trainings, and the difference between these seminars, for example, or workshops, and the trainings is that when you take part in some training, usually there is a research person or a trainer or someone who is expected to give you a little bit of a theoretical input. So the group is not left on itself, to say it, but there is always someone who is guiding the process. But in the trainings, there is someone who is really focused on your learning process. In the sense that this trainer or a research person needs to provide a framework for learning for you and for the others that are taking part in this training, but also to try not to act as a teacher, as a lecturer mainly, to just tell you all the theory, but to try to put you in a position to learn from the experience. And this is one also very important concept. And it's called self-directed learning or experiential learning, for example. Those are the things that we find very useful and very important in our work, because if I tell you something, like now I'm telling you how is it to take part in non-formal activities, it is one thing. I give you some information, you will listen to me, and okay, maybe you agree with some things, maybe you don't with some, and 2 days after you can even forget about it. But when you get involved, when you enroll in some non-formal activity, if you yourself, you go to some training or seminar, or even this, you take part in this webinar, and you go through the process, and you experience by yourself, then I don't have to explain. No one has to explain. You know what is it, because you experienced, you tried. You see things that you like there or you don't like, and you can explain this also to others. And your experience of being here or in some other non-formal learning activity, it brings you this, how to say, this personal understanding, like a personal experience of how is it to go through the process. And it's maybe much more individual, but there is a next step in this experiential learning where you connect these things that you learn and how you felt and those things that happens to you connect them with the theory. So when you combine those two, at the end you have a clear picture of how the process goes, what are the goals, how the program is organized, and in general how all these cycle function. And what is the best is that after these couple of steps, you experiencing this, reflecting on this, okay, and after that you can try to see how you can also implement this maybe in the future. How you can use some of the things you learned from this process in your everyday life, in your maybe work, in your maybe studies, or you can even decide to organize some workshop or some webinar by yourself. And then you know from your experience as a participant, how was it? You know from the theory how it should be, what are the main elements, and then you can try to use this knowledge to do some practical thing by yourself. And then when you try to do it by yourself, you can also later, when you do it, reflect on how you did it and maybe work on your own improvement and improvement of your skills and of course of your knowledge. So I think I find non-formal learning very much exciting because there is always space to learn more. I think about every topic. I don't think that it's possible that you can know everything about something. There is a whole mystery of life. I mean, me as a biologist, I should tell you, oh, it's simple. There are some molecules, there are some cells, animals, flowers, things, and the nature organized as well. But it's really not so simple. There are so many things that we don't know, and even those that we know, but we don't even admire them enough, I say. So there is, even if I choose to do some research on insects, for example, my master's degree was on ladybugs, and for me they were really kind of lovely with these spots and crazy colors, and I thought that I learned a lot about them, but then when I started doing some research on them, then you see it's a huge new world opening in front of your eyes. And also there are many questions. And from the scientific point of view, I try to understand them, but also from the other personal, like ordinary personal point of view, I still get confused. And I still cannot connect all those dots that I see. I mean, in my head, I cannot connect them, and I don't see how everything developed so beautifully. And why I'm mentioning this is that sometimes you will think that for some topics like leadership, there are some people that say that leaders are born. So he's a natural born leader. And then it's discouraging, because then you can see, and I was thinking like, oh, I'm not a natural born leader, And at the beginning, no one told me that there are some skills that you can learn. And they don't maybe teach you these things in the school, but you can find the places where you can learn them. And I want to say that you should never allow the environment or anyone personally, even your family members or whoever, to discourage you. Because if you would like to be a leader, you can find a way how to improve your skills and how to develop yourself. And you can also find non-formal learning opportunities and to go there and later to practice some of the skills. And I think this is also with all the other areas and all the other topics. Whatever is of your interest, you can, this is the beauty of lifelong learning, you can plan how you will learn this. And you can decide that maybe this year you will enroll in some French lessons. You will go and you want to learn French, so you will choose to maybe go to some lessons of some teacher or some kind of language school. Or you can try to find someone of your peers, some other students that already speaks French, and you will learn the French language in a totally different way. You can maybe try to find some great French music that you like and you translate the songs. You try to learn grammatics through this lens. And at the end, the result will be more or less the same, but the process will be different. And I don't say that none of those two approaches are wrong. I say it really depends on what is the best for you and what you like. So this is this positive element of the learning that you are planning. It is that you can do it the way how it fits you. So, for example, there are some people that are, maybe you know these theories and about types of learners, and there are different theories, but in general, you can just think that there are some people that will remember things just because they were listening about something and they like to listen, and for them, they're more auditory types. For some of them, like for me, I have to draw, I have to write, I need to have something, to touch and to really, this is the way how I can remember things. So if the book is just, white with some little things written inside, I will struggle. Of course, I will learn, but I will struggle. But if there are some graphics inside and drawings and some pictures, then I learn much better. So also there are some people that like to learn alone, or maybe in pairs, and this is the way for them how to focus, how to be really concentrated, and for them that is the way how they learn the best. On the other side, you have people that like to learn in the groups, and for them, if you tell them to go all afternoon and learn something about, for example, maybe history or some other topic you choose. This person will be very unhappy. If I'm the one who doesn't like to learn alone, I would like to be with someone in the company and to do it together. And also when I was leading this voluntary service, this was also very much important for my work with the volunteers, because some young people, they come there really to experience this process in the group, because they like to belong to the group, they like to feel that they do something together and they have this joint ownership. And with this kind of persons, this type of learners, you have to really be careful, and you need to provide them a space and the group and in general this learning environment that fits them. So if there is someone who is your mentor or tutor, or someone who is taking care about your learning process in the formal education, that person will help you in the planning of your learning and give you some information where to find books, where to find some other inputs. But for this non-formal learning, usually there are not people that are really following you in this so much. Usually it's up to you to plan this. Of course, you can find through some different programs also some people to support you in that, but usually we mainly do it ourselves. And as I said, sometimes we choose really interesting topics for us, and sometimes we made a mistake, so we chose something that later you see it was not really the best choice. But what happens then is that you can just shift the focus. So if you see that the program that you applied for, maybe it's some kind of non-formal activities, some youth exchange or some seminar. If you see that the program doesn't really fit you so well, but you are still there, you have to follow it. Then you try to find some different approaches, and you try and also to bring something in from your experience. Try to put yourself in a position really to contribute and try to enrich this. And sometimes if there are no spaces, like there is not much space for this, you can also focus more on process, on connection with the other young people that are there, and try to with them to really get the most out of this process. I don't know if I'm talking too much or too fast. Please, if you can tell me if there are maybe some specific questions, something that maybe your students are more interested in.
Very good, like the way you presented, because every nooks and corners of how the children should undergo in part of their lifelong learning, apart from their regular curriculum. You also said, highlighted about the tips of peer support learning, because nowadays children have peers, but still getting into the education part is a little bit less comparative to the other things. So you taught us how to do the experiential learning, participative learning, etc. So really it was blessing, ma'am. Children, do you have any queries to pose to ma'am?
They could be shy. Or surprised that I finally stopped speaking.
Yeah, ma'am, it was very nice. As a researcher, I can understand, like, because getting into the field of biology will put us into a world of miracle, because we see new things. As the word research rightly says, that searching things again and again. So finding new things. So in Tamil we have in India we have a proverb in Tamil that is katrathu kaiman alavu kalladadu ulavalavu. Means like we have learned only a little. We have had to learn the entire world.
It's possible. It's for me, as I said, I see it really as a puzzle. So we can try to make our own picture out of those small pieces, and try to enjoy it somehow. I know it's not easy always, but every new step in the learning makes us more self-confident. And from the position of a young person, every new learning opportunity, it brings you chance to really improve yourself and also to challenge yourself. And I think that without challenging yourself, you cannot get the maximum. You will never get the maximum, because you can be happy in your little small world, and you have some like a circle of the friends or family, and I love these books or I love those things. But if you don't challenge yourself, if you don't go out of this so-called safe zone, you don't know what you could accomplish, and you cannot really fully develop your potentials. And sometimes going out of our comfort zone can be really headache and challenging. But I think that we always come back stronger in the way that we experience something and that we take the best out of it. There is sometimes period when you don't think this is something that happened. Sometimes there is also this period of really being sad that you made a mistake and that you did something in the wrong way. But the good thing about non-formal education is that usually there is no one giving you a grade. I mean, no one will come. I will not come next year to ask you, how good you were in the lifelong learning. I will not do it with this position of a hierarchy and, oh, you didn't accomplish what we said, la la. It will not happen. But even if we would meet in 1 year, it would be interesting to hear from all of you if you maybe got inspired to plan your own learning in some field. Because maybe some of the ideas that you think, oh, maybe I could learn more about some certain topic, if even in a non-formal learning setting, if you don't plan it, it will not really happen. I mean, it could happen by chance, but it's much better if you plan it in some way. And then you can also find better tools that will help you in this learning process. And you can also find some peers, some other students or your colleagues at work or someone who is also interested in this topic. I would like just to recommend you because you are all online, and that is one very good thing with the internet and everything that he brought, although people are always focusing on some negative things. But the really good thing is that now you can find plenty of resources everywhere. And you can also access different learning materials, recorded webinars or some workshops, many materials. But you can also find other people like you. And this is something that made me happy, because in some moments I thought that, I must be the only person who is interested in this. And then you go, for example, on the LinkedIn, and then you find that there is a whole group of people there. And you can even ask the help from them and even the guidance. When I was developing local action plans for social inclusion in municipalities in the country where I live, I was really much interested how it's done in other countries. And for example, I used one of the LinkedIn groups to ask, look, I'm working on this. I would like to see if any one of you ever worked on this. Do you have some kind of a plan in your municipality how to support inclusion? And it was fantastic because people really contacted me from different parts of the world. And of course, some of the realities they were much different than mine. And because the society where I live is not so diverse, I have to say. And it is in one way, but it's very small. Maybe I missed to say this and you would probably laugh. My country, we are not even 1 million. It's like around 600,000 inhabitants. So it's very small. And also some approaches, they cannot function here. And also some ideas that I have and some approaches in the work that we have here, they are maybe not good for India and for some other places. And I think that even in this lifelong learning and in the non-formal learning setting, we have to acknowledge this different environment and different styles of not just learning, but communication. And also try to adapt even our idea and our methods to the environment. So when you find all those materials that are online, you always have to think through your own lens to see how this can be adapted to myself or to the place where I live. And not to be disappointed if some of the things you saw there, they are not functioning for you maybe, or for your group of friends or your group of students that you work with. So I think that the opportunities are there. There are also a lot of even very cheap or even free of charge online courses that you can participate in. And you can find them on this website of Coursera or some other. And I think it's a really great opportunity that it was not possible maybe 20 or 30 or 40 years ago, not to mention before this. So I think that opportunities are there, and it's just for you to close your eyes and to think, okay, what I want to learn maybe in the next year, something that is not part of my curriculum, or what kind of activities I would like to experience, and then you make your own little planning how you will do it, if you need someone to support you in this process, or you will do it by yourself. But I think it's really the best thing is that it's in your hand. You plan it and you do it the way you like. And I think it's really when you accomplish, then it brings you. At least it brings me so much joy, that I feel kind of more complete. I feel that I understand better what is going on around me. But then the new question comes. At least for me, there is always something like why and how, and then the process starts over and over, and it continues. But I think it's interesting, and it's interesting path to go.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I don't know if someone said that we have some questions or no.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the session.
Okay. So thank you, ma'am. It was really a blessing session for us. Thanks to the digital platform for connecting all the way from Aleksandra ma'am from Montenegro to India. So we hope that ma'am, when you can visit to India the next time, hope this online webinar could be an offline seminar for us, and it will be a real blessing to all our students to meet you and get more ideas regarding self-learning and how to motivate. We wish that you could motivate them how they could lead their future education. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you once again from RVS Group of Institutions for your valuable presence and spending your valuable time with us. Thank you once again. And thank you, RVS Circle, for connecting us all around the world. Thank you. Thank you, children.
Yes.